edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Woodland Brutality 2023, Stage 7, Fob Defense. Now this stage was a little unusual compared to the other 6, in the fact this was a nighttime stage. Now, what did you have to do on this stage? You had a 20-second par time, you were in a foxhole, some lights came on, you had a set of targets to engage. Every target you engaged gave you a 5-second bonus. So the cool thing about this stage was if you were fast enough and accurate enough, you could actually go negative time, which did a lot for your overall score. Now what I'm going to show you here is the test footage. This is the test footage when we were testing out the stage prior to the match. The reason I'm showing you this instead of actual match footage is damn camera gremlins got me, so I don't have my actual Stage 7 run. But what I'm going to show you is here's what we wanted to do, which was to do the whole stage under flares. So you're going to see a run with that. The person in this run is actually shooting it with a Krag Jorgensen rifle, so very impressive. And then you're going to see my run under lights, which is how we ended up actually doing the stage. And I'll talk about why we did that on the other side.
Stand by. Flare!
Dude, that thing went to the moon.
I can't.
It's going to come down in a nice location.
Now you can start to see them.
Yeah, you almost have to pull the flare when you start running.
Yeah, I think that's...
Time. One.
Time. Lights.
Alright, so by now you're wondering, why didn't you shoot the stage under flares? Because that was out on the internet that was going to happen. Well, on the day we tested, the conditions were suboptimal. And by suboptimal, I mean we had borderline almost too windy, and the ground was very dry, and we did about 5 flares. And on 3 of them, we had a really high pucker factor that we were going to set the whole facility on fire, which would not be conducive to the match a couple weeks later. And it doesn't put you on good terms with the facility owner, so we decided against doing that. On the actual RO match, we had absolute freaking perfect conditions. We had no wind, so the flares went straight up, they came straight down, and it had been raining that day, so the ground and the trees were all nice and wet, so fire conditions were really low. And the problems we encountered was the flares we were using are surplus maritime signaling flares. Most of them are expired. Turns out these things got expiration dates for a reason. We had a 30% failure rate of one type of another. Either the flare would launch and not ignite, or the flare would ignite, come down, but the parachute wouldn't deploy so rapidly quick you got a burning thing that was just sitting on the ground burning, which it gave us all a pucker factor. The thing that finally did it in for us was on a flare on my run, on the test run, was launched it, the parachute sort of kind of deployed but not fully, So it fell a little faster and landed right in a tree, and we were all like, as we watched it burn, going, burn out, burn out, burn out, burn out, burn out, don't set tree on fire, because it was like freaking 15 meters in the air, and if it caught the tree on fire, there was literally nothing we could do about it. So discretion is the better part of valor. We decided that we would suspend the use of flares. One, for fairness to the competitors, because the next night if we tried it and we only got through a few before our fear factor overcame us, it wouldn't be fair to the competitors who didn't get it. We also found that the flares were very unpredictable when you launched them. Sometimes you'd get a good launch that would put the light right where you needed it, and wow, you could get a bunch of hits. We had a couple of the ROs get 8 to 10 hits. Other times the flare would go up and then just go off to one side or the other, and the usable light would mean that you got 1, maybe 2 hits. And while we do consider fair and decide against it, that was a little outside the comfort zone of the match coordinators, and I fully agree with that decision. But we had enough data to know what the usable illumination was, and that's how we came up with 20 seconds of illumination under truck lights, and that was your par time plus bonuses for all the hits that you got. So that's why we ended up doing the stage this way. We are going to experiment more with flares, and hopefully at a future match we can work out all the bugs to get it to be more consistent and give the shooter the flare experience under the clock. We hope you found this coverage of Woodland Brutality 2023 helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future match videos.